Hi, this is Linda Watson with Cook for Good, where you can learn to save money, eat well, and make a difference. I want to talk today about a difference that we can make in light of this terrible oil spill in the Gulf. I'm surprised that the politicians haven't asked us to do this and that actually we as a people have not risen up to do it. After all, even after 9/11, we were asked to shop. Now we're not only not asked to do anything, we're actively told we can't make a difference. I'm here to tell you that you can. Maybe you've been seeing newspaper headlines like this. This came to me in the paper this morning. BP spill, total bad news for BP and for wildlife. That's an absolutely true statement, but what bothers me is this little headline that's underneath here. It says, protests futile in a petrochemical age. That's just nonsense. I don't believe that for a minute. I'm reading terrible news reports that tell us we can't make a difference, like, for instance, this quote that I'm going to read to you from a member of the American Enterprise Institute. There is a future where Americans will use less fossil fuels, and I think there are government policies that can help us move in that direction. But the technologies are not as developed as the environmentalists would like us to believe. That's Samuel Thurmston from the American Enterprise Institute. Well, Mr. Thurmston, I'm an environmentalist, and I'd like to introduce you to a technology that could really help the country. It's been around for thousands of years, and it's the dried bean. Plant protein takes 1/10 of the fossil fuels to produce that animal protein does. So if you're going to have beans instead of beef, you're saving 90% of the fuel costs of your food, and they're delicious. You can go to cookforgood.com right now and learn how to cook some delicious beans. So there's no sacrifice in flavor, no sacrifice in taste, and a 90% savings in the amount of fossil fuels. There's other things you can do right now. You can eat local food. You can eat with the seasons so that you don't waste all sorts of fossil fuel storing your food or transporting it from other places. You can cut down on the packaging. I mean, this is a little ridiculous, a complete little plastic suitcase for a pear. Now you can actually reuse this so that you can pack a pear in your lunchbox so it's not so bad, but you know what I'm talking about. All that cardboard and plastic that goes into creating and storing and processing processed foods. We don't need that. We can go back to basic, pure ingredients and cut back on the amount of oil that we use quite a bit. Plant your own vegetable garden, and that way you don't even have any sort of transportation costs for your particular plants. But there's other things that you can do as well. If your neighborhood society will not let you plant vegetables in the garden because it's just way too tacky for them, go ahead and plant some flowers. These beautiful organic flowers, they're perennials, came out of my own garden. I didn't have to do anything at all to them this year. They just showed up and bloomed for me. And you'll notice that I'm using a really nice recycled container. Used to be a teapot, now it's a flower vase. When I broke the lid, I just thought, what else can I use that for? I didn't need to go out and buy a new plastic flower vase. Now, that's another thing you can do. You can look for all sorts of ways to recycle. My favorite shoes, really cute, aren't they? They use recycled tire treads for the bottoms. Now, the very article that I was quoting to you earlier said, we can't avoid petrochemicals because petrochemicals are everywhere. They're in our shoes, they're in our medicine, they're in our perfumes. It's true, they're ubiquitous. If you have a bike, it probably has plastic in it somewhere. But that doesn't mean that you can't move more towards a plastic-free existence and save some of the oil. This is a good example. You can also stop buying things that you don't need. Think about something like this before you buy it. Do you really need this dinosaur? And next time someone tells you that there's no difference that you can make at all, that you are hopeless and helpless in the face of this terrible disaster and global warming itself, look them in the eye and say, you're a dinosaur. He's a dinosaur. There are technologies available. There are lifestyle changes that you can make that are absolutely easy. Go ahead and make a few of those today. Don't be a dinosaur. Cook for good and have a delicious day.